going on, guys? What's up, Collage? What's up, James? Val, what's up, Mark? What's up, Nico? Give it a few minutes and I get it started. So this is just going to be a weekly prep. Okay, guys. What's up, Aaron? Joshua? Hey, what's up, Chief? All right. Yeah, what time zone you at, Nico? You in Eastern? Oh, okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I thought you was in another country. What's up, Kalash? What's up, Joshua? Yeah, Fahad, I expect this to be a good week, man. Got some good events coming up this week. Definitely excited for this one. But probably like Friday, what happened with PCE, probably gonna be like as expected data. So I just wouldn't be surprised by that. All right, all right, let's get it started.
Recording in progress.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to our weekly prep. Okay, so just gonna go over main events, right? What happened previous week, what to expect moving forward, because it's gonna really help you guys look for some trade ideas, right? So you can understand what opportunities to take advantage of. So I just put this here for the Jackson hole because I don't want you guys to forget what happened 2 weeks ago when it came to Jerome Powell giving up those comments that actually gave us a dovish reaction, which was where the dollar pushed lower, equities continue to push higher. This was because he did confirm to the markets that the labor markets are easing and growth is easing, right? But the key thing was higher inflation is going to be expected, and then inflation is most likely to push afterwards. Higher inflation is temporary. So that to me was the key giveaway. So last week we had economic data, right? We had the U.S. GDP that did come out a bit, came out higher than expected, which still shows strong growth, and U.S. PPI came out as expected. So we really didn't get an edge last week, but just the overall perspective still should signal a rate cut, okay? Because we didn't get a higher print that should force Feds to be expecting to pause rates. It actually came out as expected. So now this week for labor data is going to be extremely important because of that, because this labor data should move the dial a bit for what to expect, right? So the upcoming rate decisions so far, we have an 87% chance of a cut still, right? So I was personally expecting it to go down to 50-50, but who knows? It's still, at the end of the day, it's still up to Jerome Powell to cut rates or not. Even if the market expectations are still, just give you guys an idea. So even though that the market expectations is still pricing in a rate cut, it doesn't mean that the Federal Reserve is going to do it unless right we get weaker growth data, we get weaker inflation. All of that would contribute to that, okay? But if data remains the way that it is now, I'm not expecting them to cut rates, right? So even though if the markets do try to force this in like this, we probably won't see a rate cut. I don't think Jerome Powell is just going to cut rates just because the market is trying to force him to, but it will depend, right? We're going to have to, I would certainly say this September meeting is going to be extremely important. That's going to really give us an edge, all right? But now moving forward. So what we're going to focus on this week, right? NFP data, labor market focus this week. The print is going to impact monetary policy. So just to give you guys an idea on a direction, right? Stronger data will cause a hawkish reaction. That would be stronger dollar. that would weaken the equity markets. If we get a stronger labor data print this week, weaker data, right? If the data comes in weaker than expected, we're going to expect a dovish reaction, weaker dollar, stronger equities. Okay, so you could get the idea on what to expect. Yeah, I got you, Fata. Hope I'm saying your name right. Over the weekend, we did have a few headlines coming out. At first, they thought Trump was like MIA for a while. I thought they was going to make that a bigger focus, but they obviously didn't. But so far, we've been seeing geopolitical tensions is still escalating, right? So that's been the main topic. But is it a market mover? No. It's just showing us that war tensions are still there, okay? So I'm not looking at that as opportunities. But the government shutdown, right? It's more noise, right? Markets don't really care for it. It's just more political. So it just gave you guys an idea what to focus on, that the Congress must pass a budget deal by September 30th or the government shuts down October 1st, right? The fight is over spending cuts, right? So we understand the objective of this. We're probably going to see multiple headlines regarding possible government shutdown, and I get a lot of questions with it. So this is why I gave this to you guys so you could get an idea. The biggest risk: delayed economic data, jobs, inflation, markets trades in the dark, bottom line shutdown, political drama, short-term noise. Long-term markets usually shakes it off, okay? So the fight is over spending cuts, foreign and healthcare and programs. We're going to probably see a lot of headlines with this, all right? But when it comes to us looking for a tradable opportunity, markets usually don't care, all right? This is like we get this probably like every other 2 to 3 months. We get the government shutdown. To join the Discord, just go to the link on my bio, Santos. All right, so now moving forward to upcoming events. All right, so you guys know what to focus on moving forward, and then you got the idea of why this event is important. So ISM manufacturing data is going to be on Tuesday at 10 a.m. So first, we understand Monday's a holiday. All right, so tomorrow for you guys, if you're looking, don't trade tomorrow. I know some of you guys just have a trigger finger, so if you want to take your technical trades, fine, but understand that the markets is going to be closed tomorrow, okay? So just remember that. Now, if you're looking at upcoming events, right, Tuesday, 10 a.m., we got ISM manufacturing data, going to be a good opportunity. So just remember when you're trading PMI data, right? Above 50 is expansionary. Okay, so that's good for the economy. If we see below 50 is contractionary. That's not good for the economy. So usually when you're looking at PMI data, is from that perspective. Okay, the stronger the growth, right? It's going to be tough to see how trading it with the dollar this week, right? Because we have to deal with the difference between a hawkish reaction monetary policy reaction or growth reaction. So what I mean is, if we get stronger growth, would the markets look at that as a possibility of a pause in rates, or the markets is going to look at that as stronger growth, right? So when you're trading equities with these prints, right, you have to put that into perspective. If we see that this print comes out higher, that is still good for the stock market, but that could also push equities lower with anticipation of a pause, right? Pausing interest rates. So that's why, like, growth data, usually the equities follow the data, okay? So the fact that this is at the beginning of the week, you could probably look at it from that perspective. If we get strong growth, strong PMI, look at to see if equities push higher from that. Weaker print, look to see if equities push lower. Dollar is just going to follow the data. It's going to be very simple. But at least you guys got an idea. That's not in a group. If you're trading it on your own, you know what to look for. We got AUD Australia GDP data, which is going to be important. So Asian session at 9:30 should be very exciting trading that print. Wednesday, we got Job Jolts opening at 10 a.m. So you guys can see there too. I post this in my story so you guys could read the reports after this, so you could know exactly what it means. Swiss franc CPI hasn't been really exciting trading the Swiss franc lately, because that was the first central bank to actually lower interest rates, right? To get it below 2% out of all the other central banks. So haven't been interested on trading the CHF currency, but for you guys that do focus on it, it could lead to an opportunity. That's going to be at 2:30 a.m. Eastern. ADP employment. That's going to be very important for us to trade on that Thursday, along with ISM PMI data, right? But this is services. So services, it takes up to 70 to 75% of the US GDP. That's why the services print is more important, okay? Then Friday, we're going to end it with non-farm payroll. So what we want ideally, the focus is going to be on Friday, but we still want all the data in the beginning of the week to still give us an edge, right? We don't want to see, like, ideally strong PMI, strong job openings, weaker ADP employment, weaker PMI services, then non-farm payroll. It's like a hit or miss, right? Hopefully we could get a trend of data so it could lead to a possible opportunity for us, right? So we could look for those swing trades heading towards the ending of September. Okay. So hopefully we could get something like that, you know, but if not, we just have to trade each event to that data point. Don't look for a swing trade unless it's following the bigger picture, which is obviously the market's expecting a cut. So if we could get weaker data across the board, that will probably be the best edge moving forward. All right. So just to give you guys that idea, when it comes to earnings, nothing special. Macy's, not really special. I don't see any of this being market moving. So that's pretty much it for the weekly prep. So now we could just go over some trade ideas, right? Because now, if you guys want a better view, just go to my YouTube. So you could get a better adjustment to look at the charts. All right, guys. So when it comes to the dollar, we could just overall see we've just been ranging. Right, we're not really getting a clear edge ever since August, like the beginning of the month. We've just been seeing that the dollar's been ranging so far, moving sideways, not really trending, right? Because we could just see the indecision that we're beginning now. What is going to happen in the future, right? Are we going to start seeing rate cuts actually pricing in? What is going on with geopolitical tensions? Like, nothing is giving us that clear edge yet. So this is why, ideally, we see in the markets also pushing the dollar sideways. What I want to anticipate is a stronger dollar, right? Because I want the dollar, I would love the dollar to continue to push higher for the day, right? Just so that we could hit some of these zones, at least hit these key areas before we start looking for additional downside. So price action wise, because ideally what the markets could do also is it could preset. So meaning what I mean by that is that it's not going to wait until weaker data comes for the rest of the week. We can see the dollar just drop now, anticipation of NFP to come out lower than expected. Usually I hate when the markets do that, but sometimes that could lead you to a better edge. But first, what I want to see is the dollar start pushing up in price action, at least coming above 88.0. Because if we can start breaking above that resistance, this is going to be ideally the zone I would like to see dollar hit before I want to start looking for additional downside. That is obviously if, you know, we don't get nothing to cause dollar to push higher, like any stronger data, et cetera, et cetera. If things could remain the same and we could still expect a dovish bias, right? I would like to see if dollar could hit this zone here. Maybe if we could push around 88.500, and then that would be the areas of interest I want to see if we could start rejecting and pushing lower from. I'm not really expecting dollar to like come up to like 100 again. You know, I wish it did that last week, but it seems like we're most likely going to range more than to anticipate any like aggressive upside. The only way I can see dollar breaking above structure is if we get like strong ISM, strong NFP, like stuff like that. Then dollar strength is just going to be a no-brainer. But I want to take advantage of the bigger picture, the direction of the bigger picture. So if I can see those zones hold, then I will look for additional downside. If you guys want to trade dollar up like higher, you know, you could do that too from a technical perspective. But you know that the upside is so far, it is short-lived because we don't know if the dollar is going to continue to gain strength or not. If we see that dollar just stays below 97.400, then most likely we're just going to see dollar just most likely drop. Okay, if we continue to make lower lows and lower highs, then I would say below 97,600, right? 97,600, 97,500, we'll probably see dollar just continue to push lower. Okay, so just watch out for those opportunities. Yeah, exactly. I expect like huge price moves, Mark. Just like areas of interest to watch out for. Um, we are coming across towards 9 p.m. Right, so I know you guys like to trade gold at that time. So we are sitting in a range. When you're looking at gold, still like haven't changed my bias. Long term, better to be looking for buys than for sells. Right, gold has been ideally been showing us that this whole year. We are sitting in a range. I'm not expecting anything major to happen, but maybe if wait until 9, see if we could get some type of opportunities. Hopefully, if we get a news headline, but just set your alerts around 34.41. Right? Just I know the price zones are different for you guys, but just look at the 30-minute, whatever the resistance is at, support is at. Just set those alerts. So when you get a break of structure, right, it's going to be a little high, it's going to be a higher probability that gold may give us a leg higher. What could give you that confluence, right, is if we get weaker dollar and weaker yields. Well, most likely a weaker dollar. That could help you get a little more confidence in gold upside. But if we can start breaking below that support, anything below 33.41, I think we could definitely take advantage of a good push to the downside. Most likely, if we could get a good move before Monday, it's a possibility markets might range, right? Because if the markets range, it's just because Monday is going to be a holiday. So I'm just expecting to get a good scalp at this break of structure before the holiday, before tomorrow. If we could get that between 9 and probably like 3 a.m., right? London session or 9. Let's see if we could get a good move before the markets close. Okay. I mean, I don't expect the dollar to really impact gold at this point, but it just helps. If you see stronger dollar and then the dollar is pushing up, and then you see gold is breaking below support, it just gives you a little more confidence that you could take that sell scalp. But focus on gold price action itself, not the intermarket analysis. All right. Like I wouldn't focus on intermarket analysis. I just focus on that. All right. Yeah. So I just want to now, before I end, guys, I want to talk to you. Like, let's just do a little bit of psychology. Let's go over a little bit of our core four, our weekly psychology call. I, I really love that you guys are still being active. And I want you guys to continue this. Let me just show you guys too on Instagram that you could just see like in the Discord, you know, all of the stuff that we have here is just to help you guys with your personal development. It's more to majority of people, the only purpose of why they're trading is money, right? But your income is not going to outgrow your personal development. And what I mean by that, right? The person that you are today, it's all the actions you've been doing for the past 3 to 4 years is what led you to where you are today. And if you are not happy with where you are today, then you have to make some changes. So what we talk about is changing your identity. How do you do that, right? Is it possible? And it's all going to be down to your daily habits. I don't have to know you guys individually about what is it that you should be doing. You know, right? You know in your mind, you've been telling yourself, I write down a checklist. If you haven't, you should. But you know the things that I should be doing on a daily basis. You know it. You have to write those things down. What should I be doing every day to improve myself and improve my life, right? Because when you write those things down, nothing is going to come in that is going to be delayed of time. It's not going to be something that is useless, right? Because when you write that list down, you're not going to say, oh, I should go club for 3-4 hours a day. You're not going to write, oh, I should watch Netflix for 6 hours a day. I should play Call of Duty for 30, like for all single day. You're not going to write those things down. So a lot of you want to get the answers from somebody else when you have all the answers from within you. You know what you should be doing and you know what you shouldn't be doing. And when you start, I want you guys to do this, right? Like we've been doing it this whole time. And the people that has been doing it, they changed quickly, probably like 3 months. You can see a huge difference in who they are and their personality, right? So I want you guys to learn something new. It don't have to be, it could be a different language. It could be like anything. Like if you don't know how to bowl, right? Learn how to golf, like get into fitness, right? Anything. learn something new and try to stick with it for at least 3 to 4 weeks. You're going to see how hard it is for you to actually learn, right? How many of you started learning a new language? You got motivated for the first 2, 3 days and then you just completely stopped, right? Or that second day, it's even harder to do it, right? So we have to train ourselves to learn something new because you're trying to learn this industry, learn the markets. And the last time you ever learned something was probably in high school. Most of y'all, that was probably like 6, 7 years ago, right? When's the last time you learned something? And then also, I want you guys to work on your fitness, work on your health, because the markets is 24/7, yes, but there should be no excuse that your thoughts are cloudy, you can't get your mind right, you're feeling bloated, you're always tired. All of that stuff is going to impact you as a trader. Like, are you guys going to the gym? Are you guys eating the right foods? You have to work on discipline when it comes to that too. Okay. And also, when you're going through this, try to post it, but not in a sense of being like trying to show off. But every single one of you guys, there's somebody that does look up to you and they are inspired by you, because in order for you to be wanting to be a trader is because you see yourself having a better life and you are moving in ways that people do look up to you. They may not tell you to your face, but they are watching you. So when you are posting it, not just for yourself, you're going to be helping more and more people grow. You're going to be helping so many people more than you think. And they will not say nothing to you, but when their life changed, they will hit you up and say, man, I've been watching you grind and you motivated me and you changed my life, because that's what it's about, right? Nico, 2 months sober. That's amazing, right? Like, what is a thing that you guys have to quit? You don't have to write it down. Most of y'all be probably too embarrassed to put it, right? But write down, what is the things that I should stop doing? And I'm pretty sure every single one of you have something that you should write down. What are the things? Because what if that thing, right, that you should quit is what's stopping you from moving forward in your life? So just think about it, okay? So I just want you guys to move forward with that. And then when it comes to trading, I want you guys to just do it for like 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks. Just try to do it for 2 weeks. For the first week, I want you guys to only risk, if you could just do it. Try not to, especially if you're struggling. If you're not, like, fine, do what you're doing because you're already successful. But if you are struggling a bit, try to just risk only around 2 to 3% per trade. Only take 5 trades in a week. 5 trades. And every single trade, I just want you to journal it. Your entry, where you want to take profit, journal your stop loss. The reason why you entered the trade, why your stop loss is there, why is your take profit there, the time you took the trade, right? Was it a fundamental trade or was it a technical trade? Just do that for 2 weeks. And I guarantee you're going to find things that you do right. You're going to find things that you do wrong. Okay. And when you have 2 separate trades, take one trade, like one of your trades, do like technicals. And then the second part, do fundamentals. So only 2 types of trades you take. And do not leave it. And then you're going to be able, at the end of the 2 weeks, you're going to be able to identify the things that you do right compared to the things you do wrong. Most people can't last that long. You probably do like 2 days and go back to your old habits. But if you're able to do that, you will find something. And that's the goal. All right, guys? So hopefully this is helpful. Let's do a question. So far, you guys has any questions for the weekly prep? If you guys are good, just put a 1. And then I'll see you guys probably Tuesday. But for you guys in a private group, we can focus on, we got PMI data. So I'll see you guys in the morning for PMI. Yeah, we got Euro. Yeah, I'll see you guys we see you guys for PMI. Hold on, a small business tab. Where is it? Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I got you, Collage. Promo code. I posted in my stories. I give you guys something for Monday. Yeah, I'm gonna be trading the NFP data with, but I do it with the private group. So yeah, I'm glad it was great. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm gonna do a private. I'll do a promo code for you guys. I post it tonight. All right, guys, watch the small business video that Collage posts. All right, guys, you good? All right, cool. So I'll see you guys in the chats.